we've done the shooting demonstration and we've shown you how a rifle shoots from a squeaky clean barrel and maybe when it gets a little bit fouled. The last group, as you can see, was opened up to maybe 2 centimetres. Fantastic group for most people. The average stalker will be more than happy with that with factory ammunition. With custom loaded ammunition, I'm slightly less happy with that. So that might indicate to me that this rifle needs a clean. So it was squeaky clean when we arrived this morning. It's now had 15 shots through it. Dependent on the kind of ammunition you're using, the bullet length, the alloy of the copper, it can vary in the amount of fouling it leaves behind in the rifling itself. So what we're going to do is we're going to strip this rifle down, clean it thoroughly with the Wipeout products and then shoot it again to see how it affects it. So we start with the moderator. Now, being a blaser, I'm perfectly happy to disassemble this rifle and start from scratch. And this is how I clean the blaser. Obviously, if you have a standard turn bolt rifle, you won't be able to do this, and it will necessitate a slightly different cleaning method. So we can put the stock to one side, and there we have the barrel ready for cleaning. First thing I do with the 6.5 or any of the other calibers I tend to use is run a patch of Wipeout liquid through it on its own. This will have the effect of removing any loose fouling in the barrel. Now what I'm using, as you can see, it's a standard swivel handled rod in the correct caliber size, a 6.5mm spear tip jag and the relevant patches for the size of caliber. So just place it on there. The Wipeout liquid, as you can see, we've got the Wipeout liquid, the original patch out and the new Tactical Advantage. Both, in my opinion, do the same job. The advantage of the new Tactical Advantage is it has enhanced carbon removing properties as well as enhanced anti-corrosive properties. So if you're going to leave your barrel for 2 or 3 weeks without firing, that's the one to use. If you're really not bothered and you're using your rifle on a regular basis, then the normal patch out is absolutely fine. So just a few drops on a patch into the barrel. You can either use the barrel itself because you've not got anything like the magazine or the action here. I also have these little chamber guides here, bore guides. That just keeps everything in a straight line. In with the rod and one smooth sweep straight out, and there you see straight away that's what's coming out of the other end. It's black, grey, dark grey powder fouling. Okay. So we do that a few times just to get rid of the majority of the fouling in the barrel. Now you can also see on this patch, which I'll show you in a second, as well as some of the grey-black filth, there are traces of blue in there, around here, around here and around here. That suggests there's copper in the barrel which now needs to be taken out. Okay. So before we go any further, I'm going to put a clean patch through the barrel to take out any residue left behind by the Wipeout liquid. There we go, and you can see that in that very short space of time, a few seconds, the Wipeout is already working and it's bringing blue out of the barrel now. The colours are beginning to change from black to blue. Okay. So the next product we use is the accelerator. This is used in conjunction with the Wipeout or the Tactical Advantage liquid. What it is, it's a catalyst to speed up the whole cleaning process. You can use the Wipeout and Tactical Advantage on its own, but it just takes longer. So if you're using the accelerator as well, that brings the cleaning time down to 5 or 10 minutes. So we apply the Wipeout, the accelerator, a few drops on a clean patch, and we put that through the bore. Fairly slowly, it allows it to squeeze off the patch into the rifling and the lands. There we go. As you can see, I'll bring this over now, The reaction it has with the Wipeout is it foams, and that obviously gets into all the nooks and crannies of the barrel. You can also see some browny yellow coloration. The browny yellow coloration is carbon. The Wipeout turns different colours with the different fouling it's bringing out of the barrel. We have black for powder fouling, browny yellow for carbon fouling, and blue for copper. So the foaming action there is the Wipeout accelerator reacting with the Wipeout liquid. So now we go on to the Wipeout liquid. The accelerator's in the barrel, and for this I use a brush, a nylon brush. Be careful with different nylon brushes. There are those with brass cores and there are those with steel cores. Wipeout itself is very effective at removing copper, and brass is an alloy of copper, so it can cause some discoloration of patches if you use a brass cored brush. Nylon allows me to go backwards and forwards quite briskly in the barrel, allowing me to work the liquid into a slight foam. So that has the advantage, as I said earlier on, of getting into all the nooks and crannies of the barrel. So these brushes are very, very cheap. They're a few pounds. And what we do now is we simply run a few drops of patch out liquid onto the brush. It's best not to do this on your best furniture at home because it's quite corrosive, the liquid, on certain work surfaces. And then into the barrel, and a nice vigorous brushing backwards and forwards. That will react with the accelerator in the barrel. Because it's nylon, as I said, the bristles can flex backwards and forwards. The brush doesn't need to leave the end of the barrel, thereby protecting the crown. And you can go backwards and forwards in the barrel quite vigorously, working that liquid up into a foam in the barrel. And there you can see the suds. You might not be able to see this very well on the video, but on the brush there you can see all the soapy suds. It's up and down the cleaning rod as well. So that just shows what we've done, and those suds are left over in the barrel. So wipe the cleaning rod off, and now we can leave that to just do its work for the next 5 or 10 minutes. And what I'm expecting to see when we patch that through is some bluey browny gunk, which will be the copper, and some further residue. Right, the barrel has now had about 10 minutes or so soaking time just for the ingredients to do their work, and what we're going to do now is we're going to put a clean patch through, and the coloration on the patch will tell us what is in the barrel. And there we have it. John, when you get a close-up of that, you can see that that is bright blue. I hope the coloration is coming out there. But that's navy blue, which tells me that that has got quite a lot of copper in the barrel. So what we're going to do now is we're going to repeat the process. The beauty of Wipeout is you can keep going until the patches come out clean. When they come out clean, you know that your barrel is squeaky clean. So once again, clean patch, accelerator, slowly through the barrel. Okay, we see the foam again appearing there on the end. And then the brush with the Wipeout liquid on it. Some people dip the brush into the liquid. I would strongly advise against that, particularly if you are using a brass cored brush. You don't want to contaminate your clean bottle of liquid, so we go backwards and forwards again like we did before with a nylon brush. Nice vigorous scrubbing. It's come off in this instance as it's binding on the rifling. It's not an issue, just screw it back on gently and backwards and forwards again. And then now you can see the suds again appearing on the cleaning rod. And we wait for another 5 or 10 minutes. What I would say at this point is, dependent on the bullets you're using, I did touch on this earlier on, can sometimes depend on how heavily they foul your barrel. The 6.5mm bullet is a long bullet, and therefore it has quite a long bearing surface that's coming into contact with the rifling. It's quite a fast round I'm using, and therefore is more likely to foul heavily than a slower round such as the 308 going much more slowly. Okay, this is the second dry patch we're putting through. It's had its second cleaning after the first cleaning. The patch came out blue, which indicated we had copper in there. So we redid the accelerator, redid the Wipeout, and we're now going to put a clean patch through to see what comes out this time. And there you go again, still blue coming out, so it means there's still copper coming out of that barrel. So this time we'll put a dry patch through to make sure we get any residue out. A little bit of residue in there that's blue, so that's good to get out. So now another patch with the accelerator on. Followed by a brush with the Wipeout on. Go, all nice and sudsy, as you can see again. Plenty of suds on there. That means that's going to get into all the rifling in the barrel, where all the fouling is going to be. And we'll give that another few minutes to soak. Okay, this is a third patch through now, so it's had 3 goes over. Let's see what comes out now. And there we go. We can see now it's coming out almost clear. There's a little bit of fouling in there, but very, very little. So we're going to do a very quick clean, and then we're going to assume, well, we won't assume, but I think we'll find the next patch will be almost nothing on it. I'll show you that one, virtually clear. So a quick patch out to make sure we get any residue out. Another patch with accelerator on it. And then a brush with the Wipeout on it. Concentrate on the last half of the barrel, that's where the major copper fouling deposits are going to be. Okay, again we've got suds on there, so we'll give that another 5 or 10 minutes and the next patch should come out almost clear. Okay, another 10 minutes have gone by now, so find the 4th patch through, and there we go, it's clear. So I'm going to dry it out now with 1 clear patch. At this point I usually take the bore guide out just to make sure that if there's anything right in the end of the chamber, we collect that as well. So carefully through with a rod this time. And there's nothing there, that's absolutely squeaky clean.